Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. My name is Matthew Brenner with Double Your Dojo. And today I am with a great guest who runs multiple schools. Okay. So today I'm very excited because when I heard from this guest, I was recommended from my brother, and he's like, you need to have him on. So I'm really excited to have you on today. And I know that if you are a multi school owner or you're thinking about maybe opening more locations, this is going to be, I think, a great episode for you to hear from. So, Master Zulfi, thank you so much for coming on today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. And I'm
Yeah.
excited. And tell your brother I said hello. Solomon Brenner is the man.
I will. I will. So, for people who don't know who you are, give us like a brief background about your martial arts, like business career.
Sure. So I was born in Pakistan,
Mhm.
and I started martial arts at a very young age. I started in judo, boxing, wrestling. We do a lot of wrestling in Pakistan, like it's a national kind of sport. And then I started a system called Bandu, Burmese boxing. And continued training, earned my black belt at age 16, started teaching professionally where I was making great pocket money at age 14, solo independently, of course, with my master instructor's approval and authority, and trained all over the world, competed in Southeast Asia and many different countries, traveled extensively as a young competitor and a martial artist enthusiast. Came to United States in 1985 at age 23. Now you guys can do the math. So age 23, I moved from Pakistan to United States. Came in as a foreign student immigrant with a green card, and went to college here. But I've several schools in Pakistan. I still have those schools, and I was running. I opened my first martial arts independent academy in 1980, and I came here in 85. So for 5 years, I ran my schools, which are still around, which my students who started with me in those days are still around. As a matter of fact, I just finished a call with my head instructor in Pakistan, the director of Bushi Ban International in Pakistan, about 30 minutes ago. So we still have schools running there, multiple, many locations. I would say thousands of students still practice the Bushi Ban system. Moved to America in 85, started teaching in small daycares, uh, and then grew from one location to now officially licensed 12 locations. And we have now over 40 affiliate associate schools around the world. That's my
Beautiful.
brief background.
Yeah, that's great. And how did you end up getting a green card? Was it
So
because
my
you? Go ahead.
my sister was married to my brother-in-law, who was a U.S. citizen, and my sister got her citizenship through the marriage. And he worked for the State Department, and she's a pediatric oncologist professor of oncology. So they sponsored me as a sponsor. When you sponsor, I waited 10 years. So my sponsorship was in 1976. They sponsored the paperwork. It took about 10 years, 8 to 10 years to get my papers, the green card papers, in the long process. So finally, got the green card approval because it's what I think called B2 visa or something, where they when the sister sponsors the brother. So finally got and came to America in '85. So that was the process of sponsorship through a relative.
So how did you end up having the confidence to start martial arts schools in the US? Like maybe I can understand in your home country where you have your instructor and you know the people, you know the culture, but how did you end up doing that actually in the US when you got here?
So when you're passionate about it, when you're passionate about uh, your love that you love big time, yeah. So can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Keep going.
Okay. So just like a lot of Japanese, Korean, Brazilian, Chinese martial artists come in, same passion, same drive, same ambition. And I used to study magazine like Official Karate, Black Belt magazine. And I always want to say, I want to go compete in America. I want to be with these champions who I see, and I would look at the photographs of these studios, beautiful photograph, with carpeted dojos, and we trained outside. We didn't have carpeted dojos. Either we trained on concrete, or in a tiled floor, or on grassy area, or sometime in a gravel area. So our gyms, our schools were not carpeted, air conditioned. It was, you know, a pavilion or a ground or a grassy area or a tennis court or a soccer field. These are the places we still train in Pakistan. So the modern dojos are not. I mean, they're coming up, but when I trained in the early '70s, there were no modern dojos.
Mm.
It was rough and tough, bare knuckle, type of martial arts. So I would
Okay.
say, I would love to have a studio like this with carpet and AC.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Nice. So, and your schools are all in like at least your main ones are in Texas, right?
Texas, Connecticut, we have affiliates in Canada, UK, um, Thailand, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India. So we have,
And I know you have a couple different types where you have like affiliates, you have license. What's the other one you have?
so we have licensed schools,
Uh huh.
affiliate school, and associate schools.
Can you
So
explain the
affiliate
difference
schools,
between
licensed
those? Yeah.
schools, and associate schools.
Yeah. Explain the difference between those for someone who's a business owner. Like, why
So
do you have
licensed,
three different types?
licensed schools are ones who are completely branded, Bushi Ban International. Affiliate schools are semi-branded. They use our curriculum, use my coaching, use my mentorship. Associate schools are the ones who come in and participate in events, and uh, they they pick and choose what they want to use because they already are solid branded schools and we don't pressure them. So licensed schools use the brand, use the logo, the image, the curriculum, the business mentorship, the business systems, the business processes, the martial arts curriculum, the martial arts training, uh, everything, the complete package. And so that's basically, you know, the breakdown.
So why not just own all your schools and keep it that way? Why do affiliates and license? Like, why go that route?
I can reach more people. And let's say if you have a already successful entity, I don't want to go and say, hey, Matthew, you got to change this and turn it into Bushiban. You already have your brand, your identity. You already successful. I can add I can add a feather to your cap. We don't necessarily need to change anything. What you're doing, you've been successful. I can help you get better. From good to better, better to best, great to greater. So we don't see a need, and I don't push them. I don't sell them. I don't try to encourage them that unless you're my brand, we it's a rising tide lifts all the ships. So we help them, and they're part of my network, part of my clique network. They're still part of my family. We have one big family, martial arts family.
Okay, cool. How often are you actually inside the schools? Like, do you still go? Do you still train? Like, what do you do now?
So I'm there almost every day. I'll be going around 4 o'clock today, and I'll be there till about 8:30. Um, all depends. Like the schools are running solid. We have today we have 80 plus 85 summer campers. We have the Bushiban Olympics going on today for the summer
Nice.
camp in the headquarters, and other schools are running their own thing. So depending on the day, my schedule, if I'm doing directors training, staff training, instructor training, depending. So I can be there 8:30 in the morning, or I don't need to be there. If I don't need to be there, I don't have to be there. If I don't want to be there, I don't need to be there.
Okay, cool. So then, when you're at this point where you obviously have a lot of a lot of locations. So let's just talk about what's the highest level you said. So obviously there's associates, there's license. What's the highest level?
License school. License
License
schools
schools.
are the
Okay.
complete brand.
The complete. Okay, got it. So if I'm a martial arts school owner and I have one school, let's assume it's doing really well. Okay, and and I'm really like it's the students are busting at the seams. I have my SOPs down. I know how to run it efficiently. How would I actually go about licensing? How would I actually start that process?
So to have a licensed school, you should have all your ducks in the row, you know. So there are three key elements for any business. Number one, leadership. Number two, personnel. Number three, systems, which are the procedures, policies, processes. So your leadership should have a vision where, if you have one school, you're making good money, you're happy, you're content, that's what you love doing. And if you don't want to grow, you shouldn't grow. I know several of my friends, they're very content, very happy. They make big bucks and they have hundreds of students. They're very happy and they don't want to grow. So, what is your vision? What is the purpose behind your growth? Is it business? The purpose behind my growth is my system, the system of Bushi Ban. I want to grow the Bushi Ban system. I want to spread the Bushi Ban art of Bushi Ban, the martial art of Bushi Ban, and touch millions of lives. From the business perspective, I want to help my staff, my friends, my students who would like to open a school grow and be successful. And if they choose the Bushiban brand as their vehicle tool, I will provide it to them. So my affiliate or my associate, they say, we are doing Taekwondo. We just want to know what things we can adapt from you and learn from you. You've had, in America, 40 years. This year is our 40th year anniversary. I've been teaching for 40 years. I have about sometime I have third generation students, come through my doors. So we have a proven track record, not only for the duration of time, but also business success and also student development. So some of the people who I am associated with, they say, okay, can you guide us? Can you give us help in this area or that area? Or what are the missing pieces? So it's a piece of puzzle. And, we put the pieces of the puzzle to create that full picture. And just like in our system, there's a saying, like, no one nation has the monopoly over the sunlight. No one system has the complete truth over perfection. So I learned from you, they learned from me. So that's basically the model.
Hmm. So are these generally people from within? Are they usually former students or instructors that open that license, or do you get other people recruit from
All over
outside?
the world. So majority are students who we train and they go through our system and processes, procedures and the art. But there are some outsiders also who have converted from Taekwondo to Bushiban or from Karate Do to Bushiban, from MMA to Bushiban, from Jiu-Jitsu to Bushiban. So we have people from all different disciplines and they are adapting and applying the Bushiban methodology, the unique Bushiban mechanism, the unique, Bushiban system into there. And some of them fall in love and say, that's great what I did. I have a great foundation. I want to start this. And it's
Hmm.
okay, full exposure to you. And some says, I'm going to add, can I add this? I was missing, for example, the seated self-defense curriculum. you know I don't have a curriculum which deals with seated self-defense. So we have a whole library of seated self-defense. So can I add this? Sure, you can get license for seated self-defense. Or we want to add your kukri, the special kukri blade curriculum that I've learned from my mentor and from his system, Burmese Bando, Dr. Mongji. And can we add? Sure, we can add. I cannot teach you the Burmese Bando system, but the Bushiban Kukri you can learn from me, or other. Some come for the combative aspect of it. Some come for the holistic aspect. Some learn the business aspect or the aesthetic performance art aspect. Some learn the fitness aspect. So we have people who train the police department. So I have students who are certified in Gracie combatives and Bushiban combative, and they teach the local police department. So it's a big, vast area that we cover, not just linear, it's multidimensional.
Yeah. So I guess tell us a little bit more about your business model. So you have I understand like your licensed schools, but what is everyone kind of has the schools that a model they want to follow. So, for instance, for us, we don't have schools that have 500 students. It's just not what we do. Our schools
Good.
generally have between 150 and 300, pretty much max. Is there a couple that have a
Perfect.
little more? Yeah, sure. But for the most part, it's what we look for. We look for a student value that's going to be around $240, $250 a month. And so that's what we kind of look for. Any, around 2,000 square feet, 2 to 2,500. What does your model look like for you?
So we have the same basic fundamental. We have three different models of. So there, in the model, you have the space. How do you design your school and location? We have a 1,800 square foot model, a 2,400 square model, and a custom square school model. Okay, so depending on, it all depends on the operator. What are their dreams, desires, hopes, you know, fantasies? What
Yeah.
do they want? So we don't say that this is the model, one size doesn't fit all. We want to cater when somebody comes to me and I do a discovery. I sit down, okay, what is your goal? What is your ambition? Where are you in your stage and phase and age of your life? If you are 21 years old, you have immense energy and great future. If you come to me at 57, maybe I want to help you think of your retirement. If you are in the 30s, you have a family. So we sit down, we discover, we talk. I get to know the individual first. I get to understand the ambitions, the needs, the desires, the wants, the fears, their ambitions, and which age, stage, and phase of the life they are in.
Mm.
And then we'll create the best possible model for them based on where they are in their life. We don't say, okay, this is the model. You just, it's not a, click, and paste. uh, we'll discover and we will customize it. So some schools say, I want to have 250 members. No problem. Let's work on that model. Some say, I want to make X amount of dollars. This is my lifestyle. This is my age phase and stage. I'm happy. Some say, I'm a retired guy. I just love the Bushi Ban system. I want to teach it. I don't care if I have 30 students, 50, 100 students. I just want to teach the martial arts. So again, it
It all
might not
depends
be
on the
the
person.
answer you might be thinking, but this is a different paradigm. We operate from a different paradigm.
Got it. Okay, and I understand that different for affiliates or associate schools. For the licensed schools, do you try to fit them into a specific model for the most part? Like, if someone comes to you and they're like, "Hey, I want to rent this 10,000 square foot facility," you might be like, "Well, maybe that's not a good idea because it's too
Yes.
many square feet," or the rent is $25,000 a month. You might be like, "Probably not a great idea," right?
Yes.
So, like for your licensed schools, is there
Yes.
a specific, like for us, I'll give you an example. For us, our minimum threshold we really want our schools to be at is about 40K a month. On
Mhm.
average, between 40 and 60K is really where we want to be. Do we have schools above? Yes. But as long as you're in
Yes.
that 40 to 60K range, like you're a healthy school, we consider that, right?
Yes.
So, like, what does that look like for you in
So
your licensed schools?
30,000, 30K to 40K.
Okay.
That's what our goal is. Same like basically in the industry, 1,800 to 2,400 square foot to start with. Uh, the key is make a clarity of purpose, simplicity of the process and execution, and certainty of outcome. So I want them, especially the new people, I want them to have a clarity of purpose that I am going to open this 1,800, 2,400 square foot school, and my goal is to have 100 to 150 students within the first 2 years,
Mm.
if not three, depending on the area. That's clear, precise. Now, simple at this stage, we don't want to overwhelm them with systems and processes and procedures and policies. We want to give them a clarity and simplicity of systems and process procedures. You do this, that's the result. And then we want to give them a certainty. When you get to this stage and area of your school, that's where you're going to be in your financial and you know in financial standing. And when you get to this point, then we'll reassess. We'll sit down and say, okay, are you happy? You're satisfied? What are the challenges? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Let's get them grounded first. And then we'll say, okay, do we want to go to the next stage, next phase, next stage, next age? So we start small, and of course, that's how it should go, and build it up. So
Yeah.
we have schools who choose to stay at 120 members. They're very happy. They take a good chunk of money home, and their overhead is low. They're keeping it simple and very profitable. Then we have schools who say, okay, I need to have 300 members. For 300 members, you got to have higher staff, slightly bigger space, a little more, more processes, more marketing, more staff, etc., etc.
So, what about in terms of profit margin? Is there a certain percentage you look for based on the school type? Like for
Yeah.
us, we want to get about 30% is what we look for. Some of our schools are higher if they're in a place where maybe they got cheaper rent or something, right? Or just lower expenses. Some are a little bit lower, but 30% is generally what we look for. So, what about you guys? Like, what
So
profit margin?
Matthew, profit margin changes based on your gross.
Sure,
All right.
sure,
If
yeah.
you're
Well, I guess
grossing
percentage
your
wise.
percentage, so if you're grossing 100,000 and you have a 10% profit margin versus you're grossing 30,000 and 20% profit margin,
Sure, I get that.
so we want to make sure now the more profit margin, the more tax, the more you pay. So
Sure.
after you pay yourself, your staff, your owners draw, or your head instructor who gets paid handsomely or should make good money, or the affiliate, uh, whatever profit is left, it's profit. It's still
Yeah,
profit.
but is
We
there a
don't
certain
want to go in the
percentage?
negative.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that, but is there a certain like
five
okay,
percent
5%,
to
okay.
20%.
5
That's
to 20%. Got it.
5 to 20%. Anything more, we need to start a different model. 5 to 20%. This is after paying the owner, the staff. That's also including your payroll. So
When you
that means
say
there's a good chunk of change left out there.
when you say the owner, is that usually someone who's also operating the school, or is it
Yes.
okay, so when you
Yes.
say owner, it's someone who's actually an instructor in the school. They might have ownership, but like they're actually work there. They're not just like
True. Yeah.
a absent owner. Got it.
Yes.
I think that's
Not
different,
absentee, not
right?
investor owner. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, cool. And then for you guys, like, I'm just curious, where do you look to open up schools? Do you look at shopping centers? Do you look standalone buildings? Where do you typically look?
So we have standalone building. So my headquarters is about 24,000 square foot built on 2.2 acres of land. So
Wow.
that's the mothership, big humongous place. Then we have standalone schools which we have built from ground up on 1.2 acres, 7,500 square foot. Um, Depending again. So I was just having this conversation last week. I had an associate come in from Ireland, and he's got 170 members. He's in a small school, about 1,700 square foot school, and he's going to 3,000 square foot school, and he's a single operator right now, and few volunteer staff. So we were having this conversation, owning versus renting. So it all depends again what stage. He's 50 plus years old, and we're looking for the retirement. He's saying, okay, after 10 years. So when we did the math, we came to a conclusion that maybe renting still is better for you. It's all about the math. So don't just believe the industry that the more you own, the better it is. I've been there, I do it, I've done it. I have rental properties, I have ownership properties, and uh, depending on your plan of action, stage, phase, and age of your life and stage where you are, sometimes owning is not the best thing to do. Sometimes renting is the most smartest thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And depending where you are, sometimes owning is better for you to do. So again, customization of each individual and their dreams and hopes and desires and ambition. So some I want them to own, some I want them to rent. If you're 60 years old and you're opening a school right now, owning a building, unless you have retirement funds and you're set, I don't think owning is good. But if you're 24, 25 years old and you have juice worth of 20 plus years of training hard and making it happen, then maybe you start owning. And by the time you finish paying for your building, you are thinking of the next stage phase of your life. And then by the time you retire, it'll be appreciated to where that becomes your retirement property. So again, each individual, case by case, no
Okay.
one
All right.
fixed scenario. We
So
advocate both.
that's great. So what question do you wish that your instructors or your license schools, what question do you wish that they asked you more?
They would ask me more, Grandmaster Zulfi, can you guide me how to make my life a better life? Can you guide me about security in my future? Can you give me clarity of purpose? Can you show me things which are proven processes, procedures, systems, which I don't need to recreate or learn and take 20 years, which has been proven? Can you give me certainty that when you do this, it'll work? So that's basically trust and belief and open communication. So
Is
these are
that
tough questions to ask.
is that questions that you're saying they wish you wish they asked you, or is that questions that they already ask you?
Some already asked them, some will ask me in time when they are ready to ask me those questions.
Yeah.
I don't enforce wanting them to ask me this question. I want
Sure.
them to mature enough to realize that maybe this guy has the answers, he's gone through it all. And again, there's answers everywhere. There's coaching, mentorship, guidance everywhere.
Mm.
Since we are in the same ship, we are sailing the same type of ship. I might have a few better, experiences than the guy, in the ship. So uh, it's more philosophical than tactical.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you're on a podcast episode like this. Like, what's one question you wish a host would ask you?
Do I need a guide, mentor, or coach?
Okay. Do you need a guide, mentor, or coach?
You definitely need. They will cut your growth curve in at least in half. When I got my guide, mentor, and coach, he still my guide, mentor, and coach. He changed my life, and I guide, mentor, and coach many people. And again, I'm very selective who I because my time is very important to me. In one phone call, we can resolve a problem they might have had for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they might have been struggling to figure out. And that one phone call can change the whole trajectory or mind shift, you know. So that is the power of having a guide, coach, mentor. Uh, we all need it in different areas of our life. I have them. And if you don't, the people listening, if they don't have, find somebody, somebody who you can relate to, somebody who you trust, somebody who is a non-bias, somebody who truly wants to help you, and respect them in their time, and support them as well, while taking the most out of their experience. Go with person with experience, with track record, not just with claim to fame. It's not all about the money at the end of the day. Yes, we need money. We need to be comfortable in life, but there's much more beyond the money aspect of the business.
Mm.
And when you seek that, money will come to you. You'll attract it. It'll come. It'll flow to you.
Mm. So, how do you keep these business relationships healthy between you and your team, your staff? How do you keep that healthy?
Open, honest, direct, clear, simple, certain. Open, honest, direct, clear, simple, certain. Then, when I have a conversation with you, at the end of the conversation, we have a certain outcome. We know that we will resolve whatever happened. I'm open to you. I'm sincere. I want the best for you before I want the best for myself. Because without you, I'm not complete. Without me, you're not complete. You and I work together. Even though you work for me or work with me, we support each other. We have the same goal, objective, mission, vision together. So we have to be clear and open and caring and sincere and direct, not beat around the bush. And we want to have a clear, simple conversation. And we want to make sure that at the end of our conversation, everything is clearly resolved and there's a certainty of outcome. There's no gray area. When I walk out, I'm still not, oh man, it's done, it's complete, let's move on.
Hmm. So let's say that you have a licensee that comes to you and maybe you're not thinking like they might not be a good fit. Have you ever had to reject someone or felt like they
Yes,
weren't a good culture fit? So I so you
yes,
have. Okay. So what kind of
yes.
red flags do you look for people who are instructors or people who might want to become a licensed school?
So this is our structure: student first, organization second, owner master instructor third, school fourth. All right, student first. Your students are first. Without the student, we are nobody. Organization will always be there. You are an important individual. You are important. The triune. Then your business. Business will go, you'll still be there. You'll go, organization will be there. Organization goes, student will be there. But somebody else will take them. So without the student, there's no organization. Without the student, there's no you. Without you, there's no business. We can close a business, open another business. Now, since the student is first, we need to treat the student with dignity, honor, sincerity, loyalty. We need to be a steward of a student's growth and a benefit the student in every way and every way. So if your character, so see, there are three levels of a human being in the martial arts business. Number one is your talent and your skill. You're very skilled, very talented. Number two is your character. You got to have character that carries your skill. Number three is your ambition and is your motivation, what you want to do, your drive. So if your character is poor, no matter you're the best martial artist in the world, but if your character is poor and you treat your students bad, I don't want to associate with you. I don't want you in my organization. You can be the best martial artist in the world, grandmaster, world champion, whatever. You've got to have a good skill set. You got to have good character. And if you're not ambitious, if you don't have any drive, then you cannot grow and you can't help the student grow. If you're selfish, there are people I know personally who teach. They have a group of students, but they want to do their own thing. They've opened the school to satisfy their own needs and ambitions of martial arts as a martial artist, but they don't care anything about the students. So the question you asked, why would I expel or fire, excuse, or disconnect with a if they don't have a balance of all these three things?
Hmm.
Because these are our values, and if we don't mesh with our values, then good luck to you. Leave you to heaven. Best of luck. We have our own trajectory.
Yeah.
And yes, I have had to let go of people who had differences in values or who had challenges with their character or who are not ambitious.
Hmm.
I move fast, I drive fast. I want to stay with my, you know, speed. So I can motivate you, guide you, inspire you, but I cannot do the work for you.
So
So,
is there
listening
anything,
is
I mean,
good, but
those
doing is
are
more important.
yeah, I totally get that. And to me, those are really important, right? But it's a little generic. So is there specific red flags that you look for that if someone does something like this or treats our student a certain way, that makes you think, oh, this person,
Yeah, common sense thing. You abuse your student, you disrespect them, you degrade them, humiliate them. You're not fit to be a owner instructor. If you steal, if you cheat, if you uh, abuse relationships, you're not fit to be a owner instructor. Okay, If you don't show up on time, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, if you are making excuses, if you're lazy, you're not fit to be an owner instructor. If you lie, steal, cheat, you're not fit to be an instructor. Simple human qualities.
Got it.
First, have good human qualities. If you're not telling the numbers good, if you're stealing from the business, you don't need to be here.
Sure.
Go steal somewhere else.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And what's one idea about owning a martial arts school you think that majority of people get wrong?
Get rich quick.
You
I
think a
want a
lot of
martial
people,
arts school. I'm
wait, wait,
going to
wait.
get rich quick.
You think a lot of people think that
Yes.
they're going to start a martial arts school to get rich quick?
Yeah, yeah. Grandmaster's driving a Porsche. Grandmaster driving a Range Rover. Grandmaster lives in a nice house. He's got the hundreds of students. Oh, he must be very rich. Oh, he probably got there quick. They don't know. Grandmaster has busted his behind for 55 years. You
Yeah.
know, So they don't see the process and the journey. They see the results.
Mm,
Or Mr. XYZ is living in a nice house, takes vacations, drive good cars, eats where. Oh, they're making a lot of money. Yes, they do. But they don't see the sacrifice, the hard work, the commitment that they've done.
sure. Okay, cool. So let's go back, if you don't mind, talking about like a little bit more of the business side. 'Cause I think we talked about like the vision and what we want for our instructors and right types of instructors to find. What about in your schools like right now? Like what's working for you guys to recruit new students?
So social media is big. Referrals are still very powerful.
When you say social media, do you have a company that runs your pictures and videos or your the specific instructors in the school that do the content? Who does the content for you guys?
I have my own company. I
Okay.
have people who work for me and they do my social media
Got it.
and they do my graphics, they do my social media. We don't advertise it in the martial arts industry. It's a private company specifically for the Bushi Ban schools and Bushi Ban organization. And if some of my associate affiliates ask me, I will let them. I don't go out and advertise that I have a company coming. I'm well provided for. My focus is my students and my school, my organization, but we have our own methodologies company that we use. I have students overseas who run the company, and I have local guys who also associate with me and do that. And then the school culture and the school code, the referral that we referral process is very robust, and we like most of the students should come through referral. That's our
So when you
first
say
line of.
robust, can you tell me a little bit more specifically? Like what do you guys do to get so many referrals?
So the referral process procedure starts at first contact. You know, so for example, I said, Matthew, how did you hear about me? Did somebody refer you to me? So yeah, Solomon Brenner. Okay, so I appreciate Solomon thinking of me. And Matthew, if you know anybody else who might want me to go on their podcast, I'll be happy to. So put in a good word. That's where it starts. So phone call comes in, and now it doesn't happen all the time, depending on where the conversation is going. I say, Mrs. Smith, thank you for calling. Hey, by the way, did somebody refer you to our school? Because the reason I'm asking, majority of our students, Mrs. Smith, come through referral. People like you refer other members of the family, friends, neighbors, or co-workers. I was just curious. Right there, boom, planted the seed. When they come in, then in the process, in the registration form and in the conversation, you ask the same question again. No matter you've asked it before. Hey, Mrs. Smith, I know you told me, but do you know anybody who goes to Bushi Ban? Oh, yeah, my neighbor's son took Bushi Ban 10 years ago. Oh, wonderful. So you've learned through them. Yes, yes, yes. We've known about Bushi Ban for 10 years. Okay, Miss Smith, whenever you get a chance, if you could please refer somebody. By the way, when you become the student, in your student package, we have a referral card that if you refer anybody outside your family, you will receive a huge discount on your monthly tuition when they start training with us, and they will also receive a discount. Boom, planted another seed. And they become a member. They have the onboarding process. Mrs. Smith, you remember I spoke to you about this card upon your enrollment? Hey, this is the card. Within the first 60 days, if you know of anybody who comes to our school, tries out a class, and enrolls in our program, you get 10% off your tuition, plus they get 10% off the tuition for as long as they are in this program and you're in this program. When they leave this program, your tuition goes back. But there's just one way of appreciating what you've done for us.
That's so. How much of a discount do you guys give?
So all depends. It could be $20, it could be $30, it could be $10, depending which program they're on. 10%. If they're paying me $500 a month, $5,500 a month, and they get 10% of that. Do the math. $50. You know.
Got it. Okay. So then you have to keep track of like anyone that quits. Are they attached to someone else who's a referral?
Yes, yes. When we
Yeah.
make it very clear, as long as they're active student, your 10% is active.
Cool. Okay. And then do you guys use a certain software for your school? Like which software do you guys use?
We use a handwritten software. It's
Okay.
in a handwritten diary. And then
Got it.
of course
So
we
you use actual
yeah, it's all
handwriting.
manual. And then we change it, we'll tell so whoever is a billing company, we tell the billing company, reduce it by 10%, reduce it by 10%. And
Got
then
it.
we keep on
Okay.
track. I mean, you have to be aware of who's coming, who's going, you know.
Got it. So you guys don't use a CRM? Like you don't use
I
a
don't have a CRM that does that.
Okay, but who do you use for regular CRM for your student management?
We have Spark. We use
Okay.
Spark. We have a very old CRM, Marshall Soft. We still use it. Still works
Okay.
great. We
Okay.
have each school. We give freedom for them to use whatever they want. Most of them are using Spark.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. And then that's where you do your billing and stuff too, as well.
No, no, billing doesn't go through Spark.
Oh,
So
you do billing
we
separately
have a
or
billing
another
company.
software?
I go through. I'm a EFC, old EFC,
Okay.
client,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Okay. So you do billing through
we
EFC.
do billing through EFC. We do billing through other companies also, but uh, we do a lot of billing in house as well.
Okay.
But major billing we go through EFC.
And do you typically do just like monthly tuition, or you like to do pay in fulls? Like, what do you guys look for?
We focus on monthly tuition.
Monthly tuition. Why
Rarely do
that?
pay in full.
Rarely. Okay. Do you offer
Yeah,
it, or you just when people ask?
we it all depends on operator by operator. I let them do what they want to do, but we encourage monthly tuition. There's a moral component which I learned from the late great Nick Kokinos, the chairman of EFC.
Huh?
And his philosophy was, if you have not earned it, don't take that money.
Sure.
And that's part of my value system. If I have not earned it, I don't want your money.
Sure. Okay.
Second part of my value system is, if you don't feel I'm worthy of you paying me, don't pay me. I don't want to hook your money for you to stay with me. I want you to stay with me because I bring value, growth, expansion, development, transformation, empowerment to you every day and every way when you come to my school. The day you don't want to pay me, I don't want your money because you're not happy and satisfied with me. And I don't want to have a person who's unhappy or unsatisfied with me. Uh, and that creates a negative vibe in human relationship. I don't want you here because you've paid me. I want you here because you love being here, because you feel I'm sincere. I want you to do business with me because you appreciate me, not because you have to do because you've paid me. you
Sure.
know
Okay.
so that's one of the reasons I don't encourage paid in full.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Now that's against a lot of business minded people's
Yeah.
mindset, but I've been in it. I've been doing it for 40 years,
Yeah.
and
You got to
I'm
do what's
yes,
comfortable for you guys.
I'm very comfortable with this.
Yeah. Like for us, we mainly do, we don't do monthly tuition. We do biweekly. So every 2 weeks. But we mainly do that, but we do offer early pay discounts. And we don't say pay in full, we say early pay. It sounds a little bit nicer.
Yes, yeah,
But I personally love that. And the reason why I like it is because when you pay for something, when you get stuck, maybe your kid starts giving you an issue about coming to class, or I don't know, you had baseball schedule and now it's a little harder, then it's like if you already paid, you're going to figure out a way to make it work, right? But if you're paying monthly, you just a lot of times you look for a way out, right? So if you pay
Yes.
up front, you look for a way through. If you're paying monthly, you look for a way out. So that's part of the reason, like the opposite side. But I
Yeah.
understand what makes you comfortable in your system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it all
And
depends, whatever, makes you feel good going to bed at night, right?
my take from a business perspective, that's a great practice. And I don't discourage that anybody shouldn't do that. What my philosophy is that your classes should be so robust, so engaging, so exciting, so powerful, so motivational, so inspirational, so educational that they see the value and the benefits when they walk in your school. They are engaged, and when they leave, it's a loss, not a gain.
Totally.
And after the first level of contractual agreement is done, we have people on open. We don't do contracts. So
Right.
I've got hundreds of students. They pay me month to month. If they
Right.
want to leave, they leave, and we say no. Door is open. Come back.
Right.
Again, that's just the way I'm feeling. I feel comfortable doing business.
Totally. Totally. I'm going to ask you a couple rapid fire questions. Some of them might be martial arts related, some of them might not. So we're going to have a little bit of fun here. So, who would be on your martial arts Mount Rushmore?
So four of them
Yeah,
or just
four,
one?
four. No, yeah, four.
Four.
Yep.
Okay. Now, is it living, past,
Anyone
martial arts
doesn't
history?
matter. You're Mount Rushmore. You're the people that matter. You think the most to martial arts or to you
So Dr.
personally. It
Mongji,
doesn't-
Dr. Mongji, my mentor, my teacher, number one.
Okay, that's one.
Great Grandmaster M.A. Tai, the guy who got me started in the martial arts.
Okay,
Bruce Lee. How
Bruce
can I,
Lee. Yeah.
Bruce Lee. And the fourth one, uh, there's so many great people out there. I mean, let's leave it blank.
I'll leave three. Okay, three on your Mount Rushmore. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Next one. Uh, what's one martial arts weapon that if you could, you would get rid of?
Ah, oh my goodness. Every weapon is great. I've dwelled with
Yeah,
every
but there's got
weapon.
to be one that you
What's
don't
one
really
weapon
like.
I would get rid of?
Yeah.
Uh, that's a great question. The Kwando. I'm just
One,
kidding.
no?
No, 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 no.
I don't know what that
That's
is.
I can't answer the question because there's a value in every weapon. I
Got
can't
it.
answer the question because I've
Okay.
done so many weapons and I love all of them.
Is there a certain martial arts style that you've tried that you don't like?
Hmm. That I've tried that I don't like. I only try the arts that I've liked.
You never took like I'm sure you've taken a random class or seminar when you're traveling somewhere. Like for instance, for me, like no offense to anyone, but like I don't like Aikido. Okay, like it's just not for me. I just don't like doing it. Right.
Um,
And it's just not. It's just not fun for me. So,
yeah.
is there anyone for you that sticks out? Like, okay, this one is
Honestly, no. And
okay.
uh, I can't think of because I've only tried the arts that I like and I really wanted to learn.
Okay. If you were a UFC fighter and you're walking out of the tunnel, what would your theme song be? Your walkout song?
So I was an MMA fighter. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not like a world champion MMA. I've done MMA fights, and
Yeah.
I've done fights before MMA was regulated in the state of Texas.
Okay.
You know, so my uh, oh my goodness, which one? I forgot my fight song. Um, it was by Creed. I forgot the song,
A
and
Creed
that was my
song?
walkout song. And in my very last event, the irony was that it's slow. It starts slowly. I forgot the name. It
With
was
arms wide open, you think?
No, 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 no. I don't want.
No?
It was a. Oh, I forgot. It starts very slow, and then it builds it up, builds it up. So by the time I walked into the cage and I got started, I mean the the high point didn't ever show up, so it didn't get me pumped up. Uh, you know, so you have to know that before it was regulated in Texas, these crazy Texans, and we were doing underground, non-sanctioned fights. So I mean, very few people, were doing that at that time.
Mm.
And then when I got into MMA, it was in Texas, pancration style, open palm, you know. And then I got beat up, and I said, "This is not for me." And then I
Yeah.
started
Okay.
training my
All
students.
right. One last question. And how are kids different today than they were when you first started teaching professionally?
Very different. So one thing, one phenomena which we have been noticing for the last year, we are getting a lot of kids who have autism. Either they've found that we've been doing really good with autistic kids, but we are getting inquiries from kids who have autism, a lot of them. That's number one. Number two, the COVID kids which are coming in, they are not as physically strong and mentally focused as the kids 30, 40 years ago.
Mm.
So there's a big need. We can help these kids in so many ways that if we can get this message out to our community, which we are doing that, you know, that these kids, this new generation, and of course the digital kids who are always on, Minecraft and all these games and on screen constantly, there's a difference between the toughness, the receptivity, and the commitment level of these kids nowadays than the kids 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So it's a big concern for me because the food they're eating, their growing up patterns, their habits, their interactions, even their social interactions, it's very alarming to me. And there's a real phenomena which is going on, and we need to, as an industry, take notice of that, and we need to, as an industry and as school owners, try to help solve this issue with the community. So in Bushi Ban International, one of our motto is we are the global leaders in youth development through the martial arts.
Mm.
Bushi Ban International, we are the global leaders of youth development through the martial arts, and that's our statement we do overseas because we see the same thing happening overseas also, and we want to help strengthen and toughen our kids. Our kids are not tough anymore. They're not rough and tumble. They don't get a time to tough it out and rough it out with their brothers, sisters. Everything is so regulated, if somebody tells them, hey, you're a dummy, they think they're being bullied. They don't know how to handle that verbally or emotionally, you know. And kids will come up and you say, I've been bullied in school. What happened? Well, he called me a dummy.
Right.
He calls me a dummy every day. But that's, yeah, bullying. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
You know, you need to be
Sure.
tough.
Right.
You need to learn how to approach that. You need to how to toughen it up. Don't come crying to your mom, dad, or teacher. They called me a bully. So that's missing in our kids these days.
Right.
So we've got to really figure out how to toughen our kids.
Right. Cool. That's a beautiful message to end on. Thank you so much for coming on here.
You're very
If
welcome.
someone wants to find you, they ask you a question, how do they find you?
Uh, I'm on Facebook, Zulfi Ahmed on Facebook. If they want to contact me through my personal email, masterzulfi1, masterzulfi1 at gmail.com, masterzulfi1 at gmail.com. And, Bushiban International, Google Bushiban International. I'm at the headquarters most of the time,
Yeah.
which is in Pasadena, Texas, Bushiban International. We open our arms, everybody come, doors open, come and visit us. Love to help anybody in the industry. I'm always there. Um, if you need any help, give me a call, give me a email. If I feel I can help you, I'll be honored. Uh, and thank you so much. I appreciate great questions. Some very thought-provoking questions, Matthew. I appreciate it. I have to think
My
about the
pleasure.
fourth.
Yeah,
My
thank you
fourth,
so much.
my fourth one would be my son,
Your son
Ozzy
on the Mount
Ahmed.
Rushmore.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
All right.
martial, because he's turning into be an amazing martial artist.
That's beautiful.
Um,
How old is he?
yeah, he's 15.
15. Cool. Okay,
My
beautiful.
youngest one, he's 15,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's just wonderful. He's my wakahanshi. Wakahanshi means inheritor of my seat. When I retire, so when he turns 55, he will have a ceremony. He had a ceremony when he turned 7 years, 7 days, and 7 hours. This part of a custom, culture in a Bushi Ban organization. He had his ceremony where we indoctrinate him as an inheritor of the system. If he chooses to continue the Bushiban way and the system, and at age 55, he will become the grandmaster one day, hopefully,
Cool. That's
if he
beautiful.
chooses to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody else.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. If you have any questions, you can find me at wdojo.com. Email me, Matthew at wdojo, or on Instagram at blackbeltbrenner1. So also one at the end, just like you. I don't know who got the original, but screw them. Thank you so much for going on here. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you very much.